Welcome to the world of electric vehicles. In Canada, we have a limited number of electric vehicles we can buy here. So let's just go over which ones we can get, starting with the lowest prices ones, a little bit about the range, and which ones are available for a rebate with the government. So first one we got up here is the Volkswagen Golf, which has been out for a while actually. It's a little hard to find them. I hear there's a long wait list. Last I heard it was like a year or something like that. But it's $37,000 for about 201 kilometer range. And then past that, we have the Hyundai Ioniq. I've seen a few of these on the road. Never got a chance to sit in one yet. But they're $38,000 for 200 kilometer range. And then we have Nissan Leaf. Now, Nissan Leafs have been out for a while. They just went through a major redesign, so you'll see two versions of them on the road. The newer versions are between $43,000 and $51,000, beginning about 243 to 349 kilometer range. It's a big change in the range of these ones when they did the refresh. They're really popular. So you'll probably see a whole bunch of these on the road. Then you have the Kia Soul. Now, the Kia Soul EV is basically the gas version that they've changed over to an electric version. It's between $43,000 and $52,000, and it gives you 248 to 383 kilometer range. Then we have the Chevy Bolt. Now, the Chevy Bolt is not to be mixed up with the Volt, which is a hybrid. The Bolt is pure electric. It's $45,000 with 383 kilometer range, which is very similar to the Model 3 that you'll see, or the least expensive ones. Pretty solid car. There were some issues with the seats, but they seem to have fixed that problem now in the newer ones. Then we have Kia Niro. This is a pretty basic SUV. Doesn't have a lot of options. It's $45,000 for 385 kilometer range. And then they have the Hyundai Kona, which is $45,000 for 415 kilometer range. And it's got a decent range and power for that price as an SUV as well. Beyond that, we have the BMW i3. Now, the i3 is a smaller sized car, and it's really neat how they do the back doors. The back doors are actually suicide doors, so they open in the reverse angle. You have to check one of that to see. They're between $49,000 and $53,000, and it gets 183 to 246 kilometer range. And then finally, we have the Tesla Model 3. Now, there's a bunch of different versions, but the ones that can get the incentive are either the $45,000 or $54,000 model, which is the Standard or Standard Plus. Now, Standard is 151 kilometer range, but the Standard Plus is 386. These are more of a performance car. They have more power, and they have all this technology that's quite a bit different from buying probably your last car. So if you're interested in one of these, do a bit of research and see how much different they are, because it is quite a different thing. So coming up to the incentives I was talking about. Now, the Canadian government has a $5,000 incentive. Every single electric vehicle that I just listed, everywhere in Canada. This is from the government. The dealership does all the work on this. So when you get the car, they take $5,000 off the final price after taxes. Now, in addition to that, the BC government has a $3,000 incentive as well. So 5 plus 3 is $8,000 off the price of your electric car. And in Quebec, they have an $8,000 incentive. So that's $8,000 plus the $5,000 from the Canadian government. So that's $13,000 off your price. Like I said, all done at the dealership. Now, this is not costing the dealership any money. So traditionally, when you would go and buy a gas car at a dealership, you go in and you say, I want to buy that particular one. You strike up a deal. You take $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $15,000 off of the price of the vehicle, depending on what it is. But with this electric cars, with this incentive from the government, they're going to try to sell it off as they're giving you $8,000 or $5,000 off the price of the car or whatever. But that's not costing them any money. It's not costing them any profit. So what I would do is I would go have a discussion with them, take a look at the car, sit down it, have that whole discussion, and then negotiate a price in addition to that incentive. Now, Tesla doesn't have any of that special deal, so what you pay is what you pay. But with all the other places, they are dealerships. They have room to negotiate. They would rather not, because they're going to make more money if they don't. So keep that in mind. Now, going beyond all those incentives, you only have a few other models that are above that. So you have the Tesla Model 3, of course. They have a performance and a long-range all-wheel drive version. It's a $65,000 to $74,000 for 499 kilometers. So it's basically the same as the other Model 3. It's just a longer range or better performance. And then you got the Audi e-tron. This is a performance SUV. It is $90,000 for 329 kilometer range. And then you have the Tesla Model S, which is $108,000 to $134,000 for 595 or 555 kilometer range. Now the difference there is one is just a long range battery and one's a performance long range battery. So the performance will be a little bit less range because you're using all that extra power. And then you got the Tesla Model X, which is $115,000 to $141,000 for 523 or 491 kilometer range. Same issue with that. And to recognize this is the one that has the Falcon doors, the doors that come up on the back end, and it's a 7-seater as well. Now, this is just a list of the ones that are commonly in Canada. There are some that are out there or some that are coming out soon. For example, Electromechanica has a $20,000 one-seater electric car, 2 doors on the sides. It's kind of neat to see. There are a few puttering around, but I think they were only sold to businesses. There'll be coming some that you'll be able to buy at some point, but from last I heard, they're going to sell to California before coming to Canada. And that's just been an ongoing thing. They were taking reservations for this car back when the Teslas were taking reservations for their Model 3, and that's been, 3-4 years now. So no word on when that's really coming out. You have the Tesla Model Y, which is just an SUV, cheaper version. They're supposed to be out shortly. Haven't seen any yet, but factory got shut down, so that'll be delayed a little bit. You got the Jaguar I-Pace. I think I might have seen one of these, but not on the road, just as a demo. They're coming out. They'll be out soon. We'll see when that's going to exactly happen. But like I said, every year, if you wait a year, there's going to be a few more models, a few more companies getting into the game, because this is a really big market. Small when it started, getting bigger and bigger, a lot of interest in it, and they don't want to lose out on the money. So pretty much all the manufacturers are saying, we're going to come out with one. They're promising great range, great power, good price. Gotta see it when it comes out though. They've been promising things for a long time and nothing's come out, or very little's come out. And typically it may be harder to get one of these electric cars depending on where you're living. They tend to go into areas that have a bigger demand. So if you were living out in the middle of nowhere, they're not going to have one for you to see or test drive. You're going to have to go into a bigger city. But I would call ahead because they might not even have one there. So there are some challenges with these electric cars. Just if you know somebody that has one, ask them about it and they'll not shut up. Just like I'm not shutting up. So when you're doing all this, make sure to research. If you're stuck on a brand, fine, no problem. If you want that particular one, no problem, great. If you're looking at more wide range, look at what's out there, do a little bit of research, sit in a couple of them, take it for a drive. The drive's the biggest thing. If you get into an electric car, I don't care what it is, you'll feel the immediate difference in driving that compared to your gas car. In addition to all the maintenance and what have you, all the stuff that's under the hood later on that you're going to have to deal with. Just getting in and taking it around a little bit, or even going out with a buddy that you know that might have one, just to get a feel for how much different it is and how much different the lifestyle is. So if you're not stuck on a brand, take a look at all of them. If you are stuck on a brand, or if you're not too sure and you wait a little while, there will be more. Like I said, they're coming out with them. It's just a matter of when for some of these brands. So anyways, just to wrap up, this is just to get a good idea of the price, maybe a little bit the range. I'll get a little bit more into all the other things that you might have to worry about this, but this is just a good quick start. But at the end of the day, it's good to sit down on one, try it out, see if you like it, and welcome to the electric vehicle revolution. See you later.